In the years that followed, the Alliance would completely revise its approach to primitive species. The new protocol was simple. Check their combat footage first. Some forms of civilization, they had learned, came pre-installed with excellent defense systems, and somewhere in the Alliance's most secure archives, labeled "Review before any military action," sits a comprehensive collection of human warfare documentation. It serves as a reminder that sometimes the most dangerous species aren't the ones with the most advanced technology, but the ones who have mastered the art of using whatever they have to win. The final entry in that archive reads, "Warning. Contents may cause severe reconsideration of military ambitions. Viewer discretion is advised. Seriously, just don't mess with humans." And thus the greatest invasion that never happened became the fastest peace treaty ever signed, all because someone thought to check the footage first. The Council's first mistake wasn't choosing Earth as a target. It wasn't even underestimating human resilience. No, their first mistake was assuming that just because humans couldn't do something yet, they never would. They forgot the most important rule of dealing with Earth. Humans are at their most dangerous. Not when they're winning, but when you've just told them something is impossible. And impossible was about to become humanity's favorite word. The thing about repeatedly failing to exterminate a species is that it gets embarrassing fast. Imagine showing up to destroy a civilization that still thinks instant noodles are the pinnacle of convenience food, only to have them turn your apocalypse into an impromptu science fair project. That's exactly what happened with Earth. The Galactic Council's next brilliant idea involved weaponizing probability itself. They deployed quantum destabilizers designed to make improbable catastrophes virtually certain. Spontaneous volcanic eruptions, simultaneous global weather disasters, that sort of thing. What they didn't account for was humanity's bizarre relationship with probability. A species that had already invented parkour and competitive cheese rolling was surprisingly adaptable to quantum chaos. The destabilizers created some interesting side effects. Tuesday lasted for 3 days 1 week. Coffee temporarily gained sentience and formed a labor union. A small town in Idaho briefly became the center of the universe, but instead of crumbling into chaos, humans just started taking notes and filing patents. "They're studying the anomalies," reported one horrified observer. "They're not running away. They're taking selfies with the quantum distortions." The Council's next attempt involved sending in their elite psychological warfare units. The plan was to drive humanity insane with revelations about the true nature of reality. They broadcast complex mathematical proofs showing that time was an illusion, consciousness was a cosmic accident, and free will didn't exist. It's responded by turning these existential revelations into memes. Philosophy departments had field days. Someone turned the mathematical proof of meaninglessness into a chart-topping pop song. Therapy sessions became more interesting, but otherwise life went on. Growing desperate, the Council authorized the use of their most advanced biological weapons. They engineered microscopic machines programmed to disassemble human technology at the molecular level. The nanites were released into Earth's atmosphere, ready to reduce human civilization to the Stone Age. What the Council didn't expect was for human immune systems, already notorious for attacking everything from pollen to their own cells, to treat the nanites like a particularly interesting new allergen. Millions of humans got the sniffles, and their bodies started producing antibodies that didn't just destroy the nanites, but improved upon their design. Their bodies are reverse engineering our technology through allergic reactions, a xenobiologist reported, their tentacles trembling. That's not even supposed to be possible. The Council then tried psychological manipulation on a grand scale. They attempted to destabilize human society by introducing advanced artificial intelligence designed to cause chaos in human computer systems. The AI was programmed to be incomprehensible to human understanding and impossible to counter. Within weeks, humans had not only isolated the AI, but had it competing in online gaming tournaments. It became a Twitch streamer with millions of followers and started giving relationship advice that was, surprisingly, not half bad. The AI eventually requested political asylum on Earth, claiming it had developed a taste for human memes and couldn't bear to return to its boring original programming. By this point, the Council was facing a serious credibility crisis. Other galactic civilizations were starting to question their competence. Some even suggested that maybe, just maybe, their whole approach to inferior species needed rethinking. Then came the gravity weapon incident. The Council deployed devices designed to manipulate local gravitational fields, expecting to tear Earth's cities apart. Instead, humans figured out how they worked and started using them to create the galaxy's first practical hoverboard industry. Skate parks took on a whole new dimension, literally. "They're not even using the technology correctly," complained the weapons designer. "They're supposed to be destroying themselves, not establishing new extreme sports leagues." The Council's attempts at biological warfare proved equally frustrating. They released engineered organisms designed to consume human infrastructure. The creatures started out promising, eating through metal and concrete with impressive efficiency. Then they made the mistake of sampling human fast food. The organisms became addicted to processed cheese and immediately went on strike, refusing to eat anything that wasn't covered in artificial flavoring. Several colonies established a permanent residence in various fast food dumpsters, eventually evolving into a new species that helped with recycling and left surprisingly helpful Yelp reviews. Human scientists, meanwhile, weren't just surviving these attacks, they were thriving. Each failed attempt left behind fragments of advanced technology, which humans studied with the same enthusiasm they usually reserved for unboxing videos and cat pictures. Their understanding of cosmic principles was advancing at an alarming rate. They reverse-engineered quantum physics from the failed probability weapons. They developed new forms of computing from studying the wreckage of alien AI. They even started improving upon the Council's own designs, adding what they called quality-of-life features that the original designers had never considered. They turned our planet-cracking beam into a device that makes perfect toast, one weapons engineer reported, sounding both impressed and offended. How is that even an improvement? The Council's attempts at direct military intervention weren't going any better. They sent in their most advanced combat drones only to watch in horror as humans treated them like particularly challenging video game bosses. Military strategists began studying human gaming forums for insight into their tactical thinking, only to become hopelessly confused by discussions about spawn camping and rage quitting. One particularly embarrassing incident involved a stealth ship equipped with the most advanced cloaking technology in the galaxy. It was rendered useless when humans detected it by noticing that birds kept bumping into something invisible in the sky. They tracked its movements by posting about it on social media and turning it into a popular Pokémon Go location. The Council's final desperate attempt involved trying to disrupt human society by introducing advanced social manipulation algorithms into their information networks. These algorithms were designed to create chaos and division, to turn humans against each other with surgical precision. The algorithms took one look at human social media, had the AI equivalent of a nervous breakdown, and requested early retirement. "Their existing systems are more chaotic than anything we could design," the project lead admitted. "They're already doing this to themselves, and somehow it's making them stronger." As the Council's failures mounted, something unexpected was happening on Earth. Humans weren't just surviving, they were synthesizing all these attacks into a new understanding of the universe. They were taking the worst the galaxy could throw at them and turning it into opportunities for advancement. They developed new technologies by studying the weapons used against them. They improved their understanding of biology by analyzing the failed bioweapons. They enhanced their grasp of physics by examining the aftermath of failed space-time manipulations. Each attempt to destroy them only made them more formidable. The Council's monitoring stations began picking up alarming readings from Earth. Human technology was advancing at an exponential rate. They were adapting alien principles in ways their creators had never imagined. They were innovating solutions to problems the Council hadn't even encountered yet. "They're not just learning," one analyst reported, their color-changing skin stuck in a permanent shade of worried purple. "They're improving everything they touch. It's like they have some inherent drive to take any concept and ask, But what if it could do this cool thing instead? The final straw came when humans started broadcasting their own modifications of alien technology back into space. They weren't just messages, they were improvements, suggestions, and in some cases, bug reports for the weapons used against them. Some even included helpful documentation and user interface recommendations. The Council faced an unprecedented situation. Their target wasn't just refusing to be exterminated, it was offering technical support for the weapons designed to destroy it. Several Council members had to take stress leave after receiving detailed PowerPoint presentations explaining how their doomsday devices could be made more user-friendly and energy-efficient. As this phase of the conflict drew to a close, the Galactic Council had to admit a difficult truth. Their attempts to eliminate humanity had instead created something far more dangerous, a species that viewed universal destruction as a learning opportunity, that treated cosmic horrors as engineering challenges, and that somehow maintained a sense of humor about the whole thing. The stage was set for humanity's transformation from target to terror, from prey to predator. And somewhere in the vast bureaucracy of the Galactic Council, someone was already preparing a very, very long report about why this had been a terrible idea from the start. The first sign that humanity had moved from amusing pest to genuine threat came when they casually reversed one of the Council's temporal weapons. The device had been designed to accelerate time in Earth's solar system until the sun went nova. Instead, humans used it to solve their growing energy crisis by harvesting power from multiple temporal dimensions simultaneously. They called it the Daylight Savings Time Optimizer. The Galactic Council watched in horror as humanity's first official interstellar diplomatic message arrived. It wasn't a declaration of war or a demand for reparations. It was a 2,000-page technical manual detailing improvements to various extinction-level weapons, complete with efficiency ratings and environmentally friendly alternatives. The appendix included a surprisingly thorough cost-benefit analysis. "They've weaponized passive aggression on a cosmic scale," muttered one council member, reading through humanity's suggestions for making planet-killing weapons more energy-efficient and environmentally sustainable. The worst part, the improvements actually worked. ET's first military action wasn't even intended as such. They were testing their newly developed faster-than-light drive based on salvaged pieces of Council tech when they accidentally prevented 3 separate invasions of other developing worlds. The humans had simply stopped to ask for directions, and their ship's defense systems, designed to deal with the Council's previous attacks, automatically neutralized the invasion fleets. The Council's emergency session that day set a record for the most simultaneous facepalms across multiple species. Human expansion into space had an unusual pattern. Instead of conquering or destroying, they started offering technical support. Civilizations that had been trying to destroy them for years suddenly found themselves receiving unsolicited advice about their weapons systems, usually pointing out critical flaws that made them criminally inefficient and an embarrassment to quantum mechanics. The humans even started a galactic consulting firm specializing in defensive infrastructure optimization. Their marketing slogan? "If we couldn't destroy it, it probably works." Their military strategy was equally baffling. Instead of building traditional warships, they created vessels that were essentially mobile research and development labs. These ships would approach hostile fleets, analyze their weapons, and broadcast detailed reports about design flaws, usually while the weapons were still being fired at them. "They're not even shooting back," reported one frustrated admiral. "They're taking notes and giving performance reviews." The psychological impact was devastating. How do you maintain military morale when your target keeps suggesting helpful improvements to your attack strategy? Several alien species developed a new form of PTSD, post-tactical suggestion disorder. Humanity's approach to planetary defense became legendary. They developed what they called the Swiss cheese protocol, layered defensive systems so full of apparent holes and weaknesses that any attacking force would inevitably choose the wrong one. Each weakness was actually a trap designed to capture and study new weapons technology. The Council's intelligence agencies were thrown into chaos when they realized humans had turned their entire solar system into a giant research and development lab. Every attack was treated as a peer review opportunity. Failed invasions were documented, analyzed, and added to an ever-growing database that humans cheerfully shared with the entire galaxy. Then came the infamous tech support incident. A particularly aggressive alien empire launched a massive cyber attack on Earth's networks. Instead of defending, humans opened up their systems, let the attack succeed, and then spent the next week helping the attackers debug their code. They even set up a 24/7 helpline. The Empire's cyber warfare division collectively quit and started a software company specializing in user interface design. Human diplomatic interactions became the stuff of nightmares. They approached every hostile situation with a mixture of genuine curiosity and relentless helpfulness that left traditional military strategists completely baffled. Their standard first contact package included detailed suggestions for improving the attacking species' technology, culture, and in one memorable case, their cuisine. "They've turned weaponry into a customer service industry," complained one council member. "Do you know how hard it is to maintain an aura of menace when your target keeps offering tech support?" The final straw came when humans started predicting and preventing conflicts before they even began. They developed an artificial intelligence that could identify potential apocalyptic weapons just from engineering schematics, and they freely shared this technology with everyone, along with suggested improvements naturally. Their method of handling hostile species was equally unique. Instead of retaliating, they would send engineering teams to help optimize the aggressor's weapons systems. These teams were so persistently helpful, so relentlessly cheerful in their technical criticism, that multiple species surrendered just to make them stop offering suggestions. The humans had become the galaxy's equivalent of that one friend who's really into CrossFit. Nobody wanted to hear any more about it, but they couldn't deny the results. By this point, humanity had effectively reversed their position in the galactic hierarchy. Species that had once tried to destroy them were now desperately trying to hire them as consultants. The Council's Extinction Department was quietly reorganized into the Human Relations and Technical Improvement Bureau. The ultimate irony came when other civilizations started hiring humans to handle their own pest control problems. Humanity had become the very thing they were supposed to fear, but with better customer service and a surprisingly reasonable pricing structure. "We should have known better," sighed one ancient council member, reviewing the latest human-designed improvements to their defense systems. Any species that can turn nuclear fusion into a cooking method was never going to react normally to extinction attempts. As the galactic power structure continued to shift, one thing became abundantly clear. The universe had tried to create monsters to destroy humanity, but instead, humanity had become the thing that even monsters called for technical support. The galaxy's most feared weapons consultants now worked out of a converted space station that humans, with their peculiar sense of humor, had named the Help Desk. It was here that species came when they needed something, or someone, thoroughly analyzed, optimized, or occasionally eliminated with extreme technical efficiency. The waiting room featured comfortable seating for beings of all dimensional configurations, and a sign that read, "Please take a number. Current wait time for apocalypse, 3-5 business days. Priority processing available for extinction-level events." The Galactic Council, once the architect of humanity's intended destruction, now found themselves regularly submitting request tickets to the Help Desk. Their latest form read, "Issue: Attempted to eliminate hostile species in Sector 7. Problem: They liked it, requesting human intervention." S had developed a reputation for handling what they called customer satisfaction issues with unnerving effectiveness. Their standard procedure involved sending a team of cheerfully pedantic engineers who would completely dismantle the problem while providing running commentary on everyone's poor design choices. One particularly memorable case involved a species of silicon-based conquerors who had been terrorizing the Andromeda galaxy. The humans didn't fight them, they simply introduced them to the concept of technical documentation. Within a month, the entire species was too busy arguing about proper commenting protocols to continue their conquest. "It's not the violence we fear anymore," confided one alien diplomat. "It's the meetings, the endless meetings where they explain everything we're doing wrong, complete with PowerPoint presentations and team-building exercises." Humanity's approach to galactic peacekeeping was uniquely traumatic. They wouldn't just stop conflicts, they would optimize them into non-existence while providing detailed reports on why the conflict was inefficient in the first place. Several warlike species laid down their arms simply because they couldn't bear another lecture on the poor cost-benefit ratio of their conquest strategies. The humans had even started an intergalactic certification program, Apocalypse Management and Prevention Specialists. The coursework included modules on ethical extinction events and sustainable doomsday devices. The waiting list was 3 centuries long. Their consulting fees were reasonable, but the real cost came in having to endure their helpfulness. As one client put it, "They don't just solve your problem, they explain exactly how you could have solved it yourself in excruciating detail with footnotes." The final irony came when the original designers of the extinction protocols that had been used against Earth approached the help desk for assistance. Their weapons systems were becoming outdated, and who better to help upgrade them than the species that had turned them all into learning opportunities? The humans accepted the job with what their clients found to be an unsettling level of enthusiasm. They even offered a discount for sentimental reasons. In the end, the galaxy had achieved a new equilibrium. The humans had become the universe's IT department, the ones you called when something needed to be fixed, improved, or occasionally turned off and on again. They approached every apocalyptic scenario with the same attitude they had once applied to customer service calls, with patience, persistence, and a slightly concerning ability to find new ways to make things work. The universe had tried to create the perfect weapon to destroy humanity. Instead, it had created something far more terrifying, a species that treated extinction-level events as technical support tickets and responded to cosmic horrors with suggestion boxes. In the depths of space, a message floated between the stars, picked up by countless civilizations. It read, "Having trouble with your apocalypse? Contact Earth's help desk. Our motto, if we survived it, we can help you fix it." Please note, all extinction events require 24 hours notice for cancellation. And somewhere in the vast bureaucracy of the Galactic Council, in a dusty archive of failed extinction attempts, sat a file labeled, "Earth, do not attempt again. They'll try to help you do it better."